Okay, we're back now, and we had to disconnect the software that allows us to bring in images and videos and things of that nature. That is what was we believe to be one of our problems. And so hopefully coming in directly to YouTube will resolve that issue. We'll see in a moment. So I have to make my way to the broadcast now. Because it was done on your page, I'm not seeing, do I still click on live streaming to get to it?
You should be able to go to your,
I'm not seeing it there.
okay, it may pop up in the middle. If not, go to events and just click there. That should
Okay,
be your link, yeah.
alrighty. Okay, we'll give everyone a moment to regather.
Let me go in and put the
We
new
shall
link.
start after having wasted 25 minutes. Okay.
Don't say that.
I like to be very mindful of people's time.
Yeah.
And so when we have these little things happen, I feel bad about it. So we are, okay. Sound is great, everything looks good. Okay, so the software is not that friendly for us. The software is great. We have some things we wanted to show visually, but since it is not cooperating, we have to move on without it. Okay, but some of the same images that we were going to show are on the website, so we'll be able to reference them. And like we said before, if anyone hasn't joined 12 Tribes Network as of yet, please do so. That is where all the information is stored and where everything happens. Okay, now we were talking about us as the Israelites. I did.
I do on Facebook.
Yes.
Okay.
And the fact that we are in the land of our captivity, but we are to occupy until he comes, meaning we don't sit around twiddling our thumbs looking up in the sky. You know, there are things that we must do. We have families to feed, we have bills to pay. And so what do we do to make that happen? And we talked before about, having business sources of income being something that's very important. We feel that it's very important because jobs are disappearing, and they have been disappearing for a long time. And my husband and myself, at some time in our lives or some point in our lives, have been out of a job or put out of a job, whether it's laid off or fired. I've never really been fired from a job. What they did was laid me off. That's a softer way of saying you're fired. Those layoffs that you never get the callbacks for. So having experienced that before, I know what it feels like to have an income, and then all of a sudden, boom, you don't. I know what that feels like. And so having a mindset early on in my life to where there are ways that I can make money, I'm going to explore those ways, that have helped me in many situations in my life, having that mindset. And so we want to talk about that a little bit more here today, so that some of our people can get a better understanding of what we need to be doing in this world. And like someone pointed out here, yes, Walmart did close 260 plus stores around the country. Okay, there's a lot more tied to that particular story than what they're saying in the news. We've been doing a little bit of research about that, in which we're not going to really get into that today. But there is a reason why all of these Walmarts are closing down. Okay, and it's not just to take away jobs. They need those facilities for something else. And so we're going to move right along from that. But when you consider the fact that Walmart is an employer of a lot of people in this country, that's a lot of people who showed up to work and found out within a matter of days that they would not have a job. This wasn't something that they told them months ago to prepare for, or that start looking for something else because we're going to be closing the stores in about 60 days or 6 months or anything. It wasn't like that. Many of them showed up to work and they were told, we're closed indefinitely.
Yeah, you know, that got to be a scary thing. You know, I've been laid off before, you know, and I'm gonna tell you, these companies, they don't care nothing about you, your family, how many kids you have. And matter of fact, when they come, the bosses even know you and they know what you got going on. And sometimes I think that even gives them more adrenaline to even fire you sometimes when they know, because I've seen them do that before, you know. When they know that you working, got a new house. I remember the one lady who had just gotten a new home. And share that. Go ahead.
I remember when I was working, I had paper routes for the Detroit News when we lived in Michigan. And there was a young lady there. She was, I guess you would say, one of my supervisors. She was an Israelite, okay? She was a so-called Black woman. And when we would go there to pick up our papers, everybody would come there to pick up their papers to go out on their routes. She was one of the managers there. She had gotten this position. She was so happy. She was, I'll tell you, very articulate, very smart. And she was a Christian, you know, so she was a pretty good, decent person, right? Not that Christian means anything. I'm just trying to make a point here that she was a decent woman. She was a pretty good woman. She had a husband and children. And I remember we would talk sometimes. She would come to my station and we would talk because we had something in common, okay? I was a Christian too, and we were both two Black females, so-called Black. And she was so excited. She had just gotten, having this job, she was making some decent money, okay? And so her and her husband, they bought a new home in Southfield, Michigan. And so when they closed on the deal, she came, she was excited. She was like, we just closed on the deal. We just got this house in Southfield, Michigan. And we're so happy we're going to be moving in and such and such a date. I mean, she was just really celebrating at the workplace. Now, her supervisor was a white male, okay? He was a white male. And so with all this celebrating going on, and she was so excited. And I remember being so excited for her, because she was just thanking the Most High that she got this house and that her family is, you know, finally getting some of the things that they desired.
Yeah.
Now, let me tell you how the enemy worked in that situation. After they closed on the deal and got their keys and moved into their house, about a week later, her boss came and fired her. And so
we're talking about a person who's doing wrong on a job or not doing what they're supposed to do. We're talking about a person that's doing everything they're supposed to do, and yet they got fired.
Yes, exactly. And so that said to me, he said, okay, I'm going to let you get your house. I'm going to let you close on the deal, but let's see how you're going to pay for it without a job. And so I remember saying to myself, that is dirty. That is really dirty to allow this woman to get her hopes up, get her house, and then come and pull the rug out from under her by firing her in a very short time after closing. That was just awful. Yeah. But those are the kind of things that we as a people have to deal with, you see.
Yeah.
And those are some of the very things that have empowered me and my husband to teach our children about business and trying to do our own thing, so that we're never, ever put into that situation again to where someone else is able to control our lives like that. Now, we have to keep in mind that the Most High, his word says that it is Yah that giveth us the power to get wealth, right? It is Yah. So even anything that we obtain in this life, it's still through the power of Yah. And this is why we said early on, even within our own household, we had to establish this. We had to say this, that if we take care of or handle Yah's business, that he will handle ours. And so we want to really push that and instill that in you all's minds, that in everything you do, handle Yah's business first. I don't care how small the task is that he have you doing, how big the task is that he has you doing, handle that first.
Yeah.
and seek him and make sure that you're handling his business, and he will take care of yours.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's a sad thing when you're working a job and someone lays you off and you got all these bills and everything. But it's very important that we understand that we raise our kids teaching them that, hey, don't depend on no one to make money.
Yes.
You know, depend on Yah and allow him to teach you and give you understanding to make money in business and other things. And, you know, the job thing is all good, but like we said before, what happens if you get laid off?
Mm-hmm.
And so those of you out there that are working jobs, we encourage you to have something on the side. So in case you do get laid off, you still got other income coming in from somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't put all your eggs in one basket. You know, we always say that. That basket fall and the eggs fall out and you just crack up with the eggs and go to the loony home, you know?
Yes.
So you don't want that to happen.
Yes.
So you want to be ready, basically, you know?
Yes.
So, but yeah, you know, we are supposed to occupy till they come. We're supposed to do all that we can, even though we're in the land of our captivity. You have to eat, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you really want to depend on them to feed you? No, of course not. Because they're going to feed you pork. They're going to give you cheese with pork in it. They're going to give you all kinds of unhealthy food, you know. I'm going to say this story. I remember when I was young kid and we were struggling. We were very poor when we were growing up, you know. And after my father died, things got a little bit better. But my mother, she didn't have a job. And so she was getting welfare. And they would give her these, I don't know if they were vouchers or something where she would be able to get this food, okay? And I'll never forget, there was this so-called meat in a can. Mm-hmm. You want the government to feed you. You don't want the government to feed you.
That was Focus Hope.
Focus Hope, yeah. And this food, meat in the can, when she opened it up, I was like, I don't want that, Mama. I was young. I was only probably about 10 years old. I was like, I don't want it. And she was like, she didn't want it either. So we went to give it to the dog, and the dog didn't even want it. But you gotta ask yourself, what is in this stuff here, you know? Mm-hmm. So we don't want to depend on our government to feed us. We don't want to depend on them for nothing if we can help it. We don't want to depend on for anything. So all we're trying to say is by starting your own business or to have something on the side of your job that you're doing, you can ensure that you're going to get the best food for you and your family instead of waiting for a handout.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. And I want to touch on something Brother said about lumber and building our own communities. And these are the things we need to be thinking about, right? Whenever you look at land, sometimes they'll put right in the listing, they'll say that there's X amount of acres of lumber on the land that is marketable. You see marketable lumber on the land. And so we have to consider these things whenever we're doing anything, buying land, regardless of what it is. Consider what you can get out of that land or what you can do with that land. So imagine having acreage or land to where you can harvest your own lumber. Now, I want to share a quick story too. Someone shared the story with me, and it's kind of it's sad when you think of how our people are so easily tricked. But there's a family that owns, I forget how many acres it is. It's quite a bit though, okay? It's over 50 acres that they own. And they're older. And I'm trying to paraphrase as much as I can, okay? But anyway, they own this land and their children are like, okay, you all are getting older. And so we need to have some of the younger people on the land or on the deed of the land so that when something happens, it's not just going to be lost in the system, right?
Yeah.
And so the person was saying that the siblings are like, well, no, we don't want to mess with nothing. We don't want to do this. We don't want to do that. But at the same time, they're getting old, okay? And the person told us that with the land, they have all this lumber on the land. And that every year, these Gentiles, they come and they've asked them, they said, if you want, we can clear some of the lumber off the land for you. The land is more valuable with the lumber being cleared from it. And these older people, they were like, oh, okay. Now, I'm not trying to insult at all here. I'm trying to share a story, and I have to say this because people always want to say that we're putting people down and stuff. No, I'm trying to share a story and make a point here. This is not about putting people down. It's not about insulting. I'm just trying to say this is what the word says, that my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. We are easily manipulated and controlled because we lack knowledge. But anyway, when I heard that story about how these Gentiles told them that, the land is more valuable with the land removed. I'm sorry, with the lumber
trees,
removed.
Yeah.
Now, in a sense, that can be true, but you are removing the lumber so that you can sell and make a profit from the lumber. So you are also removing value from the land. You see? And so that's literally, we've looked at land to where they say there is over $100,000 worth of marketable lumber on the land itself. So for them to tell you that they're trying to make the land more valuable for you, but they're removing all this lumber that they make houses and make products and they build things with, and we're thinking that it's okay and that they're doing us a favor. No, they are stealing.
They should have been charged for that lumber. That's right.
They are stealing from you. They are not helping you improve the value of your land. And so I understand their younger family that are saying, look, let us, since you all are older, let us deal with this. Let us handle this. They are literally robbing them of their lumber. Simple as that. And so when I hear stories like that, I feel really bad for our people.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that, but we have to snap out of this thing. We are a people that is robbed and spoiled. So I just thought I wanted to share that because I saw the comment in here about building our own communities, and I think that is very important. And if we have land and we got wood on it, keep your wood.
You'd be surprised. Some of them trees can have it could be pecan trees or walnut trees, and I was finding out that a walnut tree is worth thousands of dollars, not because of the walnuts, but because of the lumber itself. Is very valuable lumber. Yeah, so there's so much to learn about land, we got to take advantage of these opportunities. There are a lot of opportunities out here that we just don't take advantage of, and we sit back and other people, they take advantage of those opportunities. They take advantage of it. I mean, you'll look up and they'll be just on their way, just making a lot of money, and we'll be sitting back just watching. And I think we need to get past that part of just watching others do things and become doers ourselves, and not just watchers,
Yes, absolutely. And so this whole deal about occupying till we come, okay, we're going to get into the meat of what we're discussing today in just a moment. Just wanted to go over some things about the poverty mindset. You literally have some Israelites, it doesn't matter what it is, but we're trying to cleave to the curses, right? Saying that you one of the things that proves you're an Israelite is the fact that you're poor. Well, you have poor people all over the world, right? But some Israelites are literally using that as if a person has anything that is that doesn't appear that you live in poverty, then you can't be an Israelite.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that someone tried to accuse us of, saying, "Oh, they can't be Israelites. Look at the house they live in." Well, I want to say a little bit about this house that we live in real quick for those who have this idea, well, that we're some government agents or something. Okay, now we've had visitors here in our home, right? As a matter of fact, our last two visitors had a chance to see exactly what it is that we are going through. Okay, one of our visitors, in which they may see this, they were like, Sister Deborah, I hear water in the room next door. It was raining, y'all. There is a major
in the house. It was raining.
Leak, okay. And so
that thing fixed for the past few years.
Yes, absolutely. And so if we were government agents, we wouldn't have that kind of situation going on with our roof. And as a matter of fact, we had another couple come here, same thing. They were like, y'all, that roof giving y'all the blues, ain't it?
They hit me up at like 3 at night, me and my son up, because we had to pump some water out, and it was just crazy. And I was frustrated from it. And I guess our guest heard me, and that morning he got up, he said they're brutally giving you the blues, ain't it? I was like, yeah.
Yes. And we only mention this because, I'm telling you, and I know this comes with the territory. I know it comes with the territory, but people draw their own conclusions when they think you are living a certain way.
Yeah.
Okay, they draw their own conclusions. We know people who live in really nice houses. This is an old house, y'all.
Yeah,
so that's why I have some old problems.
Yeah, this is an old house that we brought, and it's real old.
Almost 100 years old.
Yeah, and it's just it has a lot of issues.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So when you consider that, we know people who live in much nicer houses than ours, much newer, who don't have these issues. So, but when you look at a person, you think, oh, they're too rich to be an Israelite, or they're living too nice to be an Israelite. Come on now. We know some people who live in some really nice houses, and we know for a fact they are Israelites. Okay. And so we just wanted to share that little tidbit that you can't look at those things, because we have people who believe that we are not supposed to be in business. We're all supposed to be all about Torah. Okay. Well, if you look at scripture, we were doers. We were doing things,
Yeah.
Our people did own land. They did own livestock, and they did all of these things, right? And some of them did live good. And so that is not the only requirement for being an Israelite.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, you know how they push the 12 tribes chart and everything, and you know how you're not really supposed to marry outside of your tribe. What was the reason why you weren't supposed to marry outside of your tribe?
Mm-hmm.
Because the wealth was supposed to stay within your tribe.
That's
wealth.
right.
They had wealth, in other words.
That's right. That is absolutely right.
Yeah,
And so,
yeah, one thing I want to say too is when you really think about it, when you're in the land of a captivity, you got to think about other people in the scriptures. And this one here is a good example, because I did a video about prosperity and poverty, and you could go look up, but I think it has to do with poverty. But the story of Gideon was on mark, because Israelites were suffering the curses, because Most High had their judgment come upon them, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Gideon was smart enough to plant his, because every harvest time, the Midianites would come and just seize everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Gideon was smart enough to hide this stuff in a cave.
Mm-hmm.
So even though all of Israel was starving and going through hard times, Gideon wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
You see, so that should be a good lesson right there. That story, read it. It's in the book of Judges, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in the book of Judges.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, there are some things too. Let me just go through the list here, make sure that we don't forget anything. We had a sister informed us that someone had contacted her because she knows us, and they had asked her. They said, "Did you notice that their videos are monetized?" This was a subject of concern for her, right? So she contacts, instead of asking us, she contacted another sister and says, "Did you know? I mean, isn't that wrong to do that? Isn't that considered working? Especially when they do their broadcast, right?" And I'm bringing this up because, for years, our channel we have several channels, right? And they had videos on our channel, especially
some videos got to 500,000 views,
our
right?
home birth video. There have been ads on it for years.
We didn't put those ads on those videos.
No,
Think
we
about
didn't.
what we're saying.
We didn't put the ads on there. We weren't getting paid anything for those videos, right? But because they were getting a lot of traffic, YouTube put ads on it, and there was nothing we could do about it. So one of my son's friends a few months ago said to us, "You all should get your channel monetized." And we're like, "Oh, okay." And so it's just a simple pushing of a button, boom, right? Now, I saw another Israelite take issue with another channel. They said, "Y'all notice he got this channel monetized?" And so we're still trying to figure out what is wrong with that, right? Because the person who confronted or asked the sister, "Did you notice that their channel is monetized?" And which, like we said, we just did this a few months ago because a young man said that we should do that. They said that, "Why do we have it monetized on Shabbat?" And we were like, it has nothing to do with us monetizing on Shabbat.
Either way,
It's just on. once it's on, it's on. And so we were like, okay, so if you have a website, do you shut your website down on Shabbat? If you're selling on networks like Teacher Pay Teacher, you know how you just put it in there and it's just sitting and you just get a sale in the background. Do you go to Teacher Pay Teacher and shut it off on Shabbat? If you have mutual funds or IRAs, do you call up the companies and tell them every Shabbat, I want you to turn off my IRAs and my mutual funds and my TSAs so that they're not collecting any dividends on Shabbat?
Because I don't want to be working.
So do you
I
all
got you.
understand the point we're trying to make, how there are a lot of pharisaical things that prevent many of us from even wanting to explore avenues of earning income or starting businesses? Now, when the scripture talked about not working on Shabbat, okay, it was saying don't go out there in the field, don't go out there gathering, don't go out there doing any of that. You understand what I'm saying?
It's about work. You know what work is, okay? Let me tell you something, okay? Like right now, this video here is probably monetized. So you mean to tell me if I'm sitting here like this here and I'm talking to you right now, you're trying to tell me that I'm working, right?
This is something we were doing anyway. We were
I'm not
already
working.
doing videos.
I'm relaxing. I could be laid back in the bed right now, and you mean to tell me because I have it monetized, I'm working? You see how off that is?
That's how the Pharisees dealt with Yahushua. I believe he picked some corn or something and bit into it. Look at you, you're gathering food. You know what I'm saying? So we have to shed this mindset, this pharisaical mindset, even as it relates to our families earning and doing things. We can't have all of our eggs in one basket. We can't depend on our government. We can't do any of this. But if you have an opportunity, now I'm not saying this, if we've been in a situation before, okay, when there's a company around here that does auctions, they do estate auctions, right? And when we were Christians, we would go on Saturday. This is when we were Christians, and they would sell all of these antiques and all kinds of things. Most of their auctions are on Saturday.
Yeah.
And you would get awesome deals. And we would resell those items on eBay.
That's right.
So when we start becoming Shabbat observers, now when we see those flyers for the estate auctions or estate sales, we don't even go.
Yeah,
because the scripture says you cannot buy nor sell on Shabbat. And so we don't go. So we miss those opportunities. But we're saying, okay, so be it. We missed them. We have to miss those because that is what the scripture refers to. They were going to the marketplace. You cannot go to the marketplace and have your things that you're selling out there in public. You're supposed to be resting and observing. But if you have a IRA account or a mutual fund
or internet business or something like that,
or a website, you don't call the companies up. It's more work to go and shut it all down, or call the companies up and say, don't collect any dividends for my mutual fund on Shabbat. You see?
I'm gonna go a little Old Testament on people to take it back a notch.
Mm-hmm.
Say if you have a seed in your garden, so what are you gonna go in your garden and uproot your seed so that it's not collecting any sunlight and doing any work on the Sabbath day and then replant it back on Sunday?
If you all didn't get that, our son said, what if you have a garden? Do you uproot your plants on Shabbat so that they're not giving you any increase on Shabbat, so that they're not growing or working? That is a very good point or allegorical point to make, because, again, sometimes these things, when you have people looking at your every move, and like I said, we put ourselves in the situation, you get all of these different questions. Or isn't that working when since your site is monetized? You get all these questions, and these are not really real concerns that our people are having.
That's right.
These are thorns that they're trying to put in your side. And if that's what you want to do, so be it. But we must carry on. Our people have needs.
That's right.
And even with this Handle Your Business series, I had mentioned this some years ago, and the sister asked me, she said, Sister, when are you going to start the Handle Your Business series? And I said, you know what? I know that we said that we want to make sure that Yah's people have the spiritual things first. We said that because the word says that we have to make sure that our soul is right first. You see, that we have to work out our salvation. We have to do all of that stuff. And all of these other things will be added to us. And so we want to make sure that we were giving the word first before we started trying to jump and plunge into business. And so when I got this question, I would say it was a few months ago, I said, man, I guess it is time. It has been a while. That's the reason why we even started talking about this stuff again.
Yeah.
Because we see that a lot of our people are losing jobs and they have needs that need to be met. We're saying, look, we have to figure out a way to meet these needs. And so with that being said, we are going to go into some things.
Yeah. One thing I want to say real quick too is about the website thing. If you have a website or you own a business on a website, like, or if you're even selling stuff on other websites like eBay and Liquidation and other sites like that, of course, when Shabbat comes, we don't deal with any of those orders on Shabbat. So we don't deal with the emails. We don't deal with the people contacting us. And one guy, he was always trying to contact me on Shabbat for business. And I had to tell him, look, I don't do business on Shabbat, you know? And so I told him, you have to call me the first day of the week or call me before Friday evening, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But basically, of course, even if you have a website, those things, you don't have to do any type of business from your website. It can just be up and running, but you don't have to go and do any physical business.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I want to get that point out there so people would understand that.
Okay, now with that being said, we're going to go into some of the things that we've listed on the site, okay? Some of you have already responded and joined some of the collaborations on the site. Now, we talked before about some of these things that we think would be great marketable ideas. We want to start small just to see how we all work together. I've seen some really awesome ideas already put on the site. Someone has some gym shoes. They're called Judah sneakers or something. They awesome.
Yeah, they awesome.
They are awesome. And so I'm glad to see someone has clothes. I don't know if they make the clothes, but there's some really nice Hebrew garments. It's unclear to me whether or not they make the clothes or not, but to see all of these postings of things that our people are saying and doing and selling and promoting, it really makes my heart feel glad to know that some of our people do understand that we can take care of ourselves. If the Most High gives the increase, go for the gusto.
Go for it. Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Now, some of the collaborations we've put on there, the software we had for our broadcast yesterday, it allows you to actually bring in images and videos and stuff to illustrate, but it was giving us problems, so we will ask you to go to the site later. But one of the projects, and I'm going to read some of the information. I'm going to go to the website and read some of the information as it relates to the projects that we are proposing, okay? And these are all simple, easy projects that I think this will allow us as a team of Israelites to get our feet wet, okay? When I say get our feet wet, I mean see what it's like to work together as a network, as a group, and not have to put a whole lot of money into it. If you notice some of the collaborations we put on the site, I have to sign in order to see them. We have them set for only members to see. So give me a moment as I sign in here. But a lot of you know how to sew, okay? And sewing is one of those things that if you can sew particular things, you can meet a lot of needs. And so, yes, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get some projects that will allow us to utilize our talents and create a product that is marketable to the masses, not just to our own people, but the masses. And some of the projects or the products that we're proposing, I know for a fact that if a group of sewers would come together, I know I would be a buyer, because this is something that we want. This is something that we need, especially as women. There are 2 sewing projects that we've added to the site. And I'm going to just go through. We have a total of 5 collaborations we've added thus far, okay? Now, there are more, but I'm not adding those until we could see what we can do with this stuff here. The 2 sewing projects, in which we've talked about that before, are the handcrafted cloth maxi pads. The use and need for that is increasing, especially among women worldwide who are trying to go natural. There has been much said about these products that they are affecting women's bodies. And they were saying that Monsanto is one of the companies that produces the materials for these.
Yeah.
So you got to ask yourself, do you want something that they produce that close to your body?
Yeah, they're talking about a wicked company that produces all type of wicked chemicals that are destroying our land. So
Yes. And so we want to ask ourselves, I remember the young lady said that this was considered a medical device, but there are a lot of women who are actually selling these. And if there are some laws that need to be adhered to, we will definitely take our time to research that. But any materials that we make as far as maxi pads, they are going to be natural. We're not going to use anything medical in those, but we will definitely look at what is required for us to make and market that particular product. Now, the reason we say, and I'm going to go to the page and just read what we have on the collaboration page, okay? I've come up with a few names that were really good names, and I'm not going to say them on the broadcast here. I'll add them to the site, okay? I will add them to the site so that anyone who wants to take a vote on the name, that's one thing I'm going to say real quick. When you're starting a business, you want to make sure you can get a marketable domain name. A marketable domain can deal with the length of the domain name and what it says. Is it easy to remember? All of those things are very important when establishing a business and a domain name. You want to try to have a domain name that's going to match your business. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and read the project for the handmade or handcrafted maxi pads. This is a project that is great for those who know how to sew. You'll be able to create a product that will be marketable to those who are wanting a more natural approach to taking care of their bodies during our monthly cycle. We will develop the best marketable design with proper absorption. We will also check into the legalities of selling a product of this nature. The female body care market is booming. It's a booming market. And with all of this new attention being paid to healthy living, the idea should work well if we develop the proper marketing strategy. We should seek to offer something better and more than what our competition is offering. Okay. Now, how will we earn revenue from this? Those who are able to sew will earn revenue as the suppliers, okay, of the product. Those who wish to invest in the project will earn from the revenues generated from sales. This will initially be a short-term project until profitability is determined. Okay, and the reason why I say this is I'm trying to see if we can work together. That is the most important thing. Seeing if we can work together as a people. Okay, now the project cost, the initial investment for this kind of project is very minimal. We are looking at time, cost of fabrics and materials, marketing and building of a website to promote sales. Okay, we're estimating that the investment to start this will be anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000. And we arrived at this number because a lot of this will be determined on how much of the initial groundwork we can do ourselves as a team and how much we will have to hire others to do for us. So that's how we come up with the projected cost. And this is just to get ourselves a prototype that we all can agree on that's going to be workable for the team. Now, the benefits of joining this project allows individuals who have limited capital to be a part of a project and earn by owning shares or serving as a provider of service or sewing services. We will seek professional advice on how to structure this project with a group of collaborators. We are asking someone from the sewing group circle to spearhead this project. We will aid in setting all of this in motion. Okay, now pretty much all of the projects that we put on here as far as collaboration, we have the details of each collaboration right there on the site. We have the details there. So anyone who is interested in joining any of the collaborations, any contact or any information, any ideas that you have, any feedback, you want to put it right there on the site, on that particular page, so that it is visible to everyone who is interested in being a part of the project. Now, remember we said many hands make little work. The same goes with investing. If, just say we are able to pull this off for $1,000 with the initial investment. Now, if there are 100 of us putting in $10 to make this thing happen, you see how easily we've achieved a goal, and now we have a business and a product that we can now market. You see?
That's right.
If it were 50 of us putting in $20, you see how easily we can get the money that we need to make this happen? That is what we're trying to say here, that having enough of us working on all of these projects. Now, even a brother can invest in this. You see?
Yeah. Brothers, I want you to understand this too. You know, I know that believe me, I know for a fact that women are the biggest, what's the word, consumers?
Yes, women are the biggest consumers. Period. Yes.
Okay. So when you're talking about business, any products that's marketed to women are going to literally just go through the roof. You know, most times they will. And this is an excellent product to invest in. Now, this don't mean we ain't got nothing to do with it as far as
y'all don't need the maxi pads.
We don't need them. We don't need to make them. You know, none of us is really sewing. You know what I'm saying? It's just something that you're investing in. You know, and you can help with maybe any other things like with the website or anything that you may have skills in. I have skills in doing video editing, so I may do a commercial for it. I have skills in building websites and stuff like that too. So like, that would be something that I could probably do for it, or images, and you know, it's you know. But this is something we're talking about investing, not wearing. You know.
And see, another thing I want you all to keep in mind too. Can you go see what's going on with the little ones, Aliyah?
Yes, ma'am.
One thing we want you all to keep in mind too, with all of the projects. Some of the services that are needed or required to pull this off, we would like to utilize your services.
Right.
If we need illustrations done or something like that, anyone that's a part of our network that offers that particular service, we would like to hire or utilize your service. Now, of course, we don't want to overcharge the community. Because there are some very competitive prices out there. We want your price to be competitive. So if we say we want your company to handle the publishing of a product or a book that we're promoting, we expect the price to be comparable or at least competitive to an outsider, because the whole idea is to support one another. But if our supporting one another is going to cause the project to not be profitable, because sometimes we as so-called Black people do have a tendency to overcharge with things. Mm-hmm. And so we want to make sure that we're not overcharging for the project, okay? Anyone who sews, make sure, even if you're out of the country, we had a few who contacted us who live out of the country. We do international shipping, and so I'm sure there is a way to work this out to where if you sew enough of the product, you can ship so much of it to save on the shipping cost. So we are wanting to get prototypes. I'm going to go on to the next collaboration project here too, so that we can just kind of go on, or not really speed through it, but not take up too much of your time. Okay, the next one we're going to take a look at. This one is of a sewing nature too. And it is the handcrafted cloth diapers. Now, I'm not going to go through reading all of that again because it's very similar to the maxi pads. Now, many of us have children that are still in diapers or training drawers or whatever. Now, that market, when you look at what we spend on diapers, it is off the chain. It's off the chain. And so we're constantly putting that money into someone else's pocket, right? Now, I know that it's more of a task to have to wash cloth diapers. But when you think in terms of healthy living, I think it's a good direction to go in, especially if we can get them at a price that is affordable.
That's right.
Okay. Yes, but we have to approve them.
Okay.
Okay. Now, when we look at the cloth diapers, many of you have just had new babies and things of that nature. So I know that this will be of benefit to you, especially when you tally up what you're paying for disposable diapers. It can get quite expensive. Okay. Now, the only thing that you would have to deal with your cloth diapers is a healthy way to clean them. Okay. And having the right sizes as the baby grows, but I think it's a good direction to go in. So anyone who, again, is into the sewing aspect of things, that may be a group that you want to join. And if you want to invest in that, we want to do that as well. Now, someone said something about accounting. Now, we know a brother who is an accountant, and we've already said that when we get a chance, he and his wife may be looking at this, we would like to talk with them about how we could work with them. We want to work with people that we know and trust that are a part of our network as far as accounting goes. Okay. So that was the 2 sewing projects. Now the other, again, brothers, you can invest in any project. It doesn't matter if it's a female product at all. It's still something that you can invest in.
Also, if some of you may even have a collaboration that you may want to add, but you can do so on the site here, but you'll have to, of course, we have to approve it because we want to make sure that that it's something that's that's feasible for the community. Exactly.
And also with adding collaborations, we have to monitor and be a part of all of this because we don't want just anyone to come and add a collaboration and we not know the person. We have to talk to them because you're basically asking. We're basically asking people to invest in something, and if we don't know them personally, we don't want to. We just have to be careful. I'll just put it to you that way. We have to be careful as a people. And if we're a part of something, we know that we could kind of look at things and monitor how things are going. Okay. At some point, we would like to have a team that's going to work directly with me and my husband, because once we start establishing these businesses, we are going to need a board. And so we have some people in mind, but we want to talk to some people. Okay, we definitely want to talk to some individuals as it relates to that, so that when we get a project started, we want to get it off the ground and get it up and running as quickly as we can. Like I said, this is tax season. We don't want our people to go into spend mode and they're not looking at possibly investing in their future or the future of their children. Okay. Now, the next collaboration I'm going to go over, my husband had to step away to go deal with a whiny little girl named Gracie, and some of you have visited us before. You know about Grace. She's a child that likes attention, so just bear with him for a moment. He shall return in just a moment. The other collaboration that I'm going to go over with you is the one dealing with black hair, so-called black hair. Now, I want to talk about that one for a little bit here. We're calling it Pursuit of Nappiness. Black hair, as you all know, is a booming business. It is a booming business, okay? And our people love to spend money on their hair. Now, this is not a hair product that we have that we're offering here. I'll tell you exactly what it is. Some time ago, my children did, we did a book. We haven't published the book yet, and we're going to wait a bit before we publish it, but it was basically their hair journey even before they got locks. Okay, so you're going to be able to see their hair before they got the locks. Now, I'm just going to read what this Pursuit of Nappiness is about here, what the project is about. Okay, with this project, we wish to publish a book and create a video documentary or DVD sharing our tales of so-called Black hair journeys. Participants can either submit their written journal or video journal to have their story included in this hair project. All participants must have natural hair or transitioning into natural hair currently. Okay, so either you already have it or you're transitioning into it. Okay. Now, the earning potential for this, Black hair is a multi-billion-dollar industry. We would like to introduce a Black hair book and video DVD that is a collaborative effort produced by our team. The book will feature our stories and pictures as well as a DVD to document our journeys as well. The book and DVD will be sold either as a set or individually. The price will be set based on the best marketable price that will still allow for a good profit. Now, the reason I'm wanting to introduce this project is because, as someone stated before, publishing is one of the easiest things you can do, okay? So that is something that's not going to require us to break the bank. Oh, how are we going to come up with all this money to do that?
Yeah.
This is another one of those things that requires a very small investment to get started if you have enough people doing it together. Now, the part that I find interesting is that one sister had contacted us early on when we first introduced this project and said that she could do videos for us. And I went to her channel and she's already doing video journaling. And I believe she has natural hair as well. And so any sister who is doing video journaling or even if it's not video journaling, but you have a website that's dealing with your hair or you do anything dealing with a natural hair journey, we would love to have your story in the book, okay? So having your story in the book and the DVD, of course, that means that that's going to be a source of earning for you as well once the book and DVD goes to market, okay? Black women, so-called Black women, we love talking about our hair, and others love reading about or looking at videos concerning hair. If you go on YouTube and you look at any videos dealing with so-called Black hair, they have views that are off the charts. Millions of views. There's one sister called Chesta Locks, or Chesta Lay is her name, but she was talking about one time how she started her lock journey a long time ago. She's kind of through the years shown the progress and the growth and the length and the health of her hair. And a lot of people tune into that because they are interested in that, especially if you have someone that has long hair. Our people want to know, how do I get my hair like that? What do I do? How do I take care of it? And so that's what this book project is about, this DVD project. Anyone who does video, we would love to see your video clips included in this as well. And so again, those who take part in this particular project, you will earn from also being a participant in the project. Anyone who's not a part of the project but would like to invest in it, you will get revenue from that. So that's our whole idea behind this. And again, we want to seek a professional on how to structure each project.
Yeah.
We want to seek professional services. Now, although me and my husband may know a lot about different things, we would rather seek outside help from maybe another Israelite who can offer this service as far as structuring these businesses, doing the accounting, all of that. We would want to put that in the hands of someone else. And so this is us telling you that we really have a desire to work together with people who have a desire to work. Okay. Who is that?
517.
Oh, you have to call them back. Okay. Now, the next project we're going to go to. Now, this one should be of interest to anyone who is interested in our history as Israelites. This project is the book series. It's another book series dealing with the 12 tribes of Israel. We would like to develop an Israelite children's book series. I remember someone mentioned or said something about this in one of our previous broadcasts, We think it's a wonderful idea. Okay, now a lot of our brothers and sisters can take part in the writing because we want to bring the story levels down to where our children can enjoy the stories. And I'm just going to read the information concerning this real quick. Okay, with this project, we wish to publish a children's book series and an audio book series to help our children learn our story from our perspective. Sharing who we are with our children in a colorful picture book is a great way to connect them to our history in an effective way. Writings can be submitted on the site for consideration in our book series. Now, the earning potential for this is finding and understanding our true history is very important. We would like to introduce an Israelite children's book and audio book series that is a collaborative effort produced by our team. The books will feature our stories and pictures as well as audio books to show and illustrate our story in a way that our children can learn and understand and enjoy it. The books and audiobooks will be sold either as a set or individually. The price will be based on the best marketable price that will still allow for a good profit. Okay, now the initial investment cost for this kind of project is very minimal. The design and layout of the books can be a shared task of members who have these skills. The audiobook production can also be a shared task from our group of members who are qualified. If you have no qualifying members who will, if we have no qualifying members, we will need to employ the services of someone outside of our members or out of our network. There will be compensation paid to the members for the time put into helping to bring this project together. This will certainly reduce our costs from having to seek outside help. Work compensation does not include submitting stories to be included to the project. That compensation for that comes from the book or CD sales. Okay, I hope that part was understood. So anyone submitting stories, that is not considered a part of the work in actually publishing, editing, and all of that, and getting the books printed. The compensation for anyone who submits stories will come from book sales. So I want to ask if anyone have any questions as it relates to what we're saying before we continue on.
Now, if you want to know where she's reading all this from, some of you may have come a little late, but this is at the 12 Tribes Network. If you go to 12tribesnetwork.com and you'll see cooperation, you might want to sign in. I'm not sure if you can see it unless you sign in. But sign in. If you're not a member, go ahead and join. But sign in, and you can go and you can check out these collaborations on the site there.
Yes. Okay, so if anyone has any questions, there's another collaboration on there. We're not going to really get into that one as much because that one is going to require a lot of work on our parts first, in which we've already began the work. This is a project that we want to promote, and I'm not going to call I'll say what it is. I'm not going to really say the website. Those of you who are members can go to the site and see it. But there is a growing market of sellable digital products, right? Many of us already sell digital products. Digital products can be in the form of anything that's downloadable: music, ebooks, voiceover services, software applications, stock music, stock video, stock images, all kinds of things that are downloadable products. And so there are a lot of sites out here that offer that kind of service. Now, I'm not going to talk about some of the elements that we are adding. I'm going to add that to the site for anyone who's interested in being a part of a project like this. Even if you don't have anything to sell, this particular project has a great earning potential. I would say probably just as good as anything else, but it requires it requires good marketing skills. I will say that because there's a lot of competition out there with that. But with anything we do, there is competition. The investment for it is still minimal, but a lot of what it's going to take is us having drive and ambition to promote it properly. And so marketing is really going to be the driving force behind this particular project. Okay. I want to say this. I remember there were some social networking sites that started years ago. And when you read their story, they would say things like husband and wife team decided to do this, and now they have millions of members. Or a group of college students decided to do this social media site, and now they have millions of members, you see. But this is because they as a team decided within their minds and within their selves that we are going to do this. We are going to market this. So if you look at all the collaboration projects we have out there, most of them, well, all of them, at the moment, all of them require very minimal investment, especially if we have enough people doing this. But what it's going to take is us to be motivated enough about what we are trying to establish here to make it happen. And it requires that we put our hands on it. We don't want these to be investments where we say, okay, we invested in it and we just sit back.
Yeah.
We all want to take part in, and I want to share what I know about social media marketing. There are other people who do social media marketing in which we can employ their services if they would want to work with us. But social media marketing is one of those things, one of those tools that can be the driving force behind your business if done properly.
That's right.
And so we want to make sure that any project that we put out there as a team or as a group, that we are doing everything we have to do to market it professionally. Now, if you look at a lot of these things that we're doing, there's only 2 of these projects that require that people know who we are, or know that we are so-called Black people, or so-called African Americans, or so-called Israelites, right? And so with those, we don't have to really hide who we are. Now, some of the other projects, as we talked before, you can't always market the fact that you're Black because some people will not support you just because of that. But those, the book project, hey, we have our own market for that. So it doesn't matter if other people really support that. You see, we have our own Black hair market. Everybody infiltrates the Black hair market, but Black people.
Yeah.
Everybody sells to us. And, you know, I mean, in Detroit, for instance, all of the majority of the hair product places, or what do you call them, beauty supply places, are owned by somebody else other than us.
That ain't just Detroit either. You can
Yes.
go to New York, you can go to Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
you can go to all these places where there are Black communities, and you have foreigners and other people, other nationalities that own these places. They sell them to us basically.
Mm-hmm.
We should have been owning these places.
Yes.
You understand? So that's what we're trying to get back to where we need to be in order to change things in our environment, in our communities. You know, it's really sad that we as a people have gotten to this point. You know, I remember back in the 60s that Blacks were really trying hard to start their own businesses. A lot of them had started businesses and they had stores and owned some of anything, even gas stations, right?
Yes.
When the 70s came and the 80s came, they just started selling everything. I mean, just selling it all. I knew a guy who had I think he had a 12-unit apartment building. No, it's a 20-unit apartment building in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
And he just sold it for $80,000. And I looked at him, I said, you sold it? And I was talking to this guy. He's like, yeah, I sold it. You know, I just took it. They're gonna let me manage the place still. They'll give me so much a month to manage the place for them. But yeah, I sat there and I said, man, so you sold the position of owning it
Mm-hmm.
to become a manager and working for them.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't that sound backwards?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so basically, you know, we got to get to that point again, you know, of owning businesses and doing this kind of stuff.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like we talked about before, where the Babes and Braids, or I forget the name of the place, that could
Babes
be
and
it.
Braids, yeah.
But when you look at a lot of these beauty salons, even though you have black hairdressers in there doing everybody up, sometimes the owner is not black.
That's right.
And so we're just saying, look, there is a black hair market, and a lot of people are going natural. And so we want to do this hair project for those that are going natural. We want to do the book projects for our people who want to know or want their children to know our history. We want to do these other two projects because this is something I know I'm in the market for. If we have some sisters who team up and we all come together and make the projects happen, not only are we creating an income for the sisters who sew, but those who want to invest in the project would be able to benefit from the sales as well.
That's right.
Okay. Now, with the digital downloads, ebooks is something that I'm definitely going to get into.
Yeah. Let me tell you something about ebooks, right? There are people out there with ebooks that have started ebooks and they are making thousands, even millions of dollars on an ebook.
Mm-hmm.
And all they did, they took time out. They of course they had to put the book together, they had to write the book, make it as a PDF download or whatever, and they put it on places like Amazon, Kindle, and other places like that, and they sell this ebook download. And you'll be surprised. I've heard people saying that their PayPal account just exploded
Yes.
from an ebook, from an ebook, and you sit there, you say to yourself, man,
Mm-hmm.
you mean tell me if I just take out a week's time and try to write a book, an ebook, and do it, and all you gotta do is make sure it has a catchy title, make sure it's something that's a hot topic or whatever, and man, people are getting over huge with these ebooks.
Yeah, one young lady, she was, I believe, 19 years old. She said that she just did a blog, right? And she noticed that the blog had over 1 million views, and a publishing company said, we would like to, work with you on this.
Yeah.
And so she decided to just do an ebook. She said, and she was very young and just nonchalant about it. She was like, well, I think I'm going to sell an ebook, right? And so she looked, she said, oh, wow, I got 1,000 sales. Oh, okay. Then she said, oh, wow, another 500 sales. I'm at 1,500 sales. Wow, this thing is really doing well. Then she says, all of a sudden, 10,000 sales. And then next thing you know, she had over 1 million sales of this ebook.
We talking about ebook that's probably sold for what, 99 cents to
I don't know how
$2,
much she
$3
sold
or
it.
whatever she sells for. They be really cheap, but they only be like $1 to maybe $5 at the most.
Some can be more. I've seen
Yeah,
some that are a lot
depending
more.
on
Mhm.
But see, you're talking about 1 million sales
Mhm.
from something like that,
Mhm.
And so that's the thing, I got an idea going through my head about an ebook. I'm gonna whisper it to my wife.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Woo! Hot topics, I'm telling
You
you.
have to deal with things that will get people's attention. One lady from Hawaii, her story really intrigued us about her ebook. She said she wrote this thing and she gave it off the chart title. Titling is everything.
Yeah.
When she gave it this title, I believe she said she made millions of dollars just with that one ebook.
Yeah.
Because this is the age of information, okay? An ebook don't mean that you have to write a novel this thick, right?
Yeah.
So when she did this particular ebook and she shared her testimony, I was like, wow. Now this was a few years ago. Now this is one of those things I will say that we kind of slept on and we were lazy about, okay? But I've already started the process of writing a few ebooks, and I'm trying to polish them. I have my daughter, she's proofreading one of them for me, okay? But again, we're trying to say this. A lot of you may be writers, and you may know things. And ebooks, they cover so many different topics. I mean, even building things. If you have an instructional ebook on how to build a particular item, even a doghouse, you would be surprised the number of people who would buy it. One of my husband's customers who lives in Detroit, he's a brother.
Yeah.
The sports things.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a friend.
Yes.
I had a friend that lives in the Detroit area, and he has these ebooks called these downloadable books. It's called Get in the Sport.
Yes.
Books pretty much,
Mhm.
and he has probably about, I would say, 12 or more of these books.
And they're just
Soccer,
ebooks.
football, bowling, you know. And I'm telling you, I built this website. We did a lot of work for him, you know. Did a video commercial for him and everything. And he seems to be doing pretty good with this thing, you know. But it's amazing because I looked at us. Matter of fact, he last time I talked with him, the Detroit Lions was going to pick up his product and sell it. They're going to be selling it at the different events for the Detroit Lions. So I mean, think about this now.
We designed all of his icons for his apps. He has
That's right.
apps, and you know, so we've done quite a bit of work for him, and he's referred quite a few people to us for
That's
various
right.
things. And so this is what we're talking about with networking.
Yeah.
If you do the right things and know the right people and promote the right things, you can definitely get yourself out there. But it's a thing called teamwork. I like how someone said, Judah team, go. Yes, the Judah team. You know, we have people who take issue with the name Judah. We understand that, but we can't compare the name Judah to the name Yahushua, okay? Because it's his name that is above all names. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, Judah team, go. I like that. All of us working together. But notice we call it the 12 Tribes Network too, because we have people that are in other countries as well that have been reaching out to us. So we want to not just Judah. We love Judah, and we are definitely working with Judah because this is where we are. So we are definitely going to work together. But anyone who is an Israelite from another country as well, we don't mind working with any of our brothers and sisters. We have people in Africa who sell products. Anything that we can do to help each other, I say let's make it happen as best as we can. And we have to encourage one another. We're going to run out of things to talk about with these meetings. So we would like to say that anyone who has ideas, oh yes, definitely. Anyone who has ideas that we want to get your questions and your input. Even if you don't give them here, which that's fine, we would prefer that you post them on the site under feedbacks or the collaboration tabs if you have particular questions about a certain project. Now, we talked about early on, we said that we would like to give a video commercial, a professional video commercial to anyone who already has an established business or product or service that they offer. Now that contest is open. We just posted it on the site. And the commercial, it'll be a 30-second commercial. So even if you have a local business, for instance, because I noticed some people had businesses that were local. One of them, I believe, was I can't remember the name, but it is on the site. But anyone who has an established local business or brick and mortar business, if you want your commercial to go on cable, you can let us know that because we can make the commercial to the specifications of the cable networks as well, or television networks. But the contest is on the site. All of the rules governing the contest is on the site. It's very simple. Pretty much just give us something in writing, post it on the site to convince us that your business should be picked for the commercial. I don't care what it is, even if you just sell cream or something like that, you qualify. That's a business to us. Anyone who already has an established business can enter the contest. We would like to do this every month if we can, give away a free commercial. Okay, so keep that in mind. I'll let you talk about that, but we're not going to get the name. We're just going to tell them to go to the site.
We spoke to you a couple of weeks ago about we were working on a marketplace where if you have items that you sell, like let's say you have some type of hand lotion or some products that you may want to sell. It could be you could have a CD that you may want to sell. You can have just any clothes or something that you're already making, things that you already have products that you are making that you want to sell, like for instance the necklaces that I have here or anything like that. We now have our marketplace and it's up and running. And you can go to the marketplace through the site 12 Tribes Network. Mm-hmm. Okay, tell them exactly where it is.
If you click on the link, the shop link, it'll take you to the site. So
and then when you go to the site, click on the home button at the site, and if you wish to set up your own profile and start selling from there, you have to put in your PayPal information, of course, in order to get paid and everything. But it's your very own. You can have your very own marketplace, and you can give the link to other people so that they can come there and purchase from there. And it's absolutely free to set up.
We're going to do a marketing campaign for the site itself. And again, this is one of those things after we have, after everyone has their products listed, it'll be an ongoing marketing. Marketing is ongoing, just like someone said in the chat. That's an ongoing thing that we must do.
That's right.
That's why they pay advertising and marketing companies for all kinds of places like McDonald's. I mean, even though they have their market established, they still do commercials, you see.
That's right.
Because they know the power of marketing. A person can be sitting up, not thinking about anything, minding their own business. A McDonald's commercial come on, and next thing you know, the person said, "Let me go get me a burger real quick."
Yeah.
You know, not that we endorse it because we don't
That's
eat
right.
that stuff. But anyway, I'm just trying to drive home a point about marketing. It's an ongoing thing. So we will have or develop a marketing campaign as well.
We encourage you too. Those of you that go to there, like we said, it's at the 12 Tribes Network website. Just click on store at the top, and then once you click on store, it'll bring you to the site, and you can click on the home button there. If you want to set up your own store, you could just sign up, set it up, and we encourage you to share your store on Facebook and other Twitter
media.
and other social networking sites to help spread the news about it.
And it's very similar to Etsy. Many of you are already sellers on Etsy or eBay, and we like the whole idea of having your things, your products spread out. Okay, never putting all of your eggs in one basket. That's been one of the things we've done for years. You don't want to just be at one marketplace, just selling to one audience. You know, always have, especially if you're offering services. Okay, many of you may sell on Fiverr already. Okay, if you do, there are other networks that are just like Fiverr that were here before Fiverr, or even through your own site.
That's right.
The whole idea is to put your marketable services in the eyes of as many people as you can.
That's right.
So you'll be getting orders from over here, orders from over there, orders from here, and you'll always keep yourself busy. And you want to make sure that you are not marketing or pricing yourself out of the market.
That's right.
That's some of the things that our people
Pricing
do.
is important. Yeah.
Yes. You'll get more customers with a lower price than you will at a higher price.
Now, this marketplace, one thing I like about it is this is an opportunity for us as Hebrews to set up stores in this marketplace and buy from one another. So a good example is, let's say that there's something I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I may come to the marketplace and just scan through there and see if there's anyone in this marketplace that's selling something that I might want. Instead of going to eBay or somewhere else, I may go here first.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make a place for our people, kind of like Black Wall Street, and they had their own thing going.
Anybody? Yes.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
Yes. We're trying to encourage our people to just reach for the sky.
Exactly.
You know? The Most High will bless us as long as we are handling His business. Keep that in mind.
That's
We
right.
handle His business, He will handle ours. I'm looking at a comment from Bobby Kennedy here. That is another one of those business ideas that is a very good idea with the storage unit purchases. It's kind of similar to what we used to do with estate auctions, but most of the time they have them on Saturday, so we can't do it. But if they have it on Friday, we can, right? But these estate auctions is kind of like the storage unit thing that he's talking about, where there are things, but with that, the difference is you're going to bid on that unit, that storage unit, and sometimes you don't get an opportunity to go in there and just thumb through things and see things. Whatever it is in there, you get what you buy, okay? And it can pay off for you. And we've had some really good buys at estate auctions. So we're just saying, hey, people, anything that you can do to take care of your family, because at the end of the day, we all know that the market is going to crash. You want to try to establish as much as you can while you can.
That's right.
Right now, we don't have no time to sleep on any of this. As it relates to our soul, we don't have time to sleep. And as it relates to our families, we don't have time to sleep. We got to take, like I've said many times, when I look at like the suffering that some people are going through in Africa, I can't imagine looking at one of my children and knowing that they're hungry and there's nothing I can do about it. I can't imagine that. And we experienced that early on in our marriage. It wasn't as bad as what was going on in Africa, but when they were saying that Elia was underweight, and I was looking at him, he's this skinny little baby, and we didn't hardly have no food, and I'm sitting there looking, and that was the closest I got to what some of those people in Africa go through.
Yeah.
Looking at this child, knowing that there was no food in the refrigerator. And so it's like all of that stuff early on made us say, we got to get ourselves together. Because as you see, people don't have no help for you all the time. They don't.
Sure don't.
And with that in mind, we have to say, look, we have to do what we have to do now.
Yeah.
We have to take care of our families now. So if there's anything that you can do for your family, do for yourselves, by all means, do it.
Do it. Absolutely do it. You know, like my wife said, you know, I've had some hard times growing up as a young child. I mean, we were really poor when I was a little young child. When I was before my father died, we were extremely poor. You know, there were times where dinner was just I mean, it was a wonderful thing if we had rice, just plain old rice. You know, half the time my mother would take some flour and make some biscuits with flour, and my father would come on with a huge can of jam sometimes, and that would be dinner. Just biscuits and jam would be dinner. Okay, you're talking about breakfast. You know, a lot of times you may even skip breakfast and lunch. You know, when I was young, and so I remember it was hard. It was hard times. You know, my father, sometimes he'd just come on with a big thing of lunch meat. And they would cut off that all week for dinner, you know.
Wow.
I mean, those was hard times, you know. I remember those days, you know. And so, you know, thinking about that and just think about now the times that we're in now. I mean, things can change so quickly. Are you aware of the 1920s inflation? You know, when that big inflation hit back then. I mean, we talking about people were rich one day and they were at the soup kitchen the next.
Yes.
I mean, this is exactly what happened. They were completely broken, didn't have anything the next day.
Yeah.
You know,
You're
and
talking
so
about when the Great Depression. Yes.
Yeah, the Great Depression, exactly. You know, and so that time I saw videos on it. And I'm telling you right now, it can happen so quickly. And so that's why we should be like ants, gathering and doing this and working together, doing as much as we can, networking together, because it's no telling how close we are to something major going down.
Yes.
And so we should be doing all we can right now. And that's when my wife will tell you, we are too busy folk.
Yeah.
We are too busy folk. You know,
and we ain't complaining about it either. This is the way we want it. This is the way we have to be, you know, because when we get serious about something, we just go after it. Now, this is why we said too early on before we started doing the live series that regardless to whether we can find people to work with us or not, we are still going to move forward with the things that the Most High wants us to move forward with. Now, the collaboration projects that we put out there, certain things if we don't get enough people to work with, of course, we won't go after those things. But the projects that we've already embarked upon ourselves,
they're gonna be done.
We're gonna continue to go in that direction. There are. I talked about the planters, right? There, some of those ideas I'm actually gonna post on the site, and anyone who looks at them and says, you know what, I think I can do that, is gonna be fine with us, you know. Because I really do, and some of you may have ideas as well. If you want anyone who wants to submit a collaboration on the site, like I said, we are going to have to look at that and talk to the person and familiarize ourselves with the person because it's on our site. We want to make sure that ain't no monkey business going on. You know, we want to make sure that we're doing everything the way we're supposed to protect the community. But yeah, some of those ideas, some of them are very simple, very easy. And some of you may be able to take them and run with them, literally, things that we don't have time to do. The collaboration projects we're putting out there because we definitely want something that's easy for our people to work with together. And I feel like the ones we've selected are very easy, very simple to do.
That's right.
Very simple task. And it's just going to take motivation on your part to see your part through. If anyone have any questions, please post them. I'm going to be taking a look to see what we have here. is a bartering under ads. If you go to the site, there is a bartering link there. Okay, the bartering allows. It's just like an ad. It's just like with any other type of bartering network. You can click on that, and if you have something you would like to barter with someone, we can all look at what it is. I put an ad on there where I had a sister actually help me with a small proofreading project, and I was really happy to receive that. And so I'm going to be putting more ads as we need for things that I need done on the site, and anyone can respond to those. Okay, anyone who has a brother is putting on here something that his wife sells on. She sells rugs. She can open up a marketplace, and actually her customers will deal with her directly on that. Now, as for how to invest, each corroboration has a link on the side. Let me see what it says exactly. And this is why we want to be a part of
What you're referring to?
whoever on the side here. You have to click on one of the, right there. Invest in a project or donate. Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Each collaboration has a link that says invest in a project or donate. Is right there on the page of the particular collaboration, so that we know exactly what it is you're looking to get involved in. Okay. Now, as for the phone line thing, Kennedy, I guess we need it for our internet service. I'm not sure. We're so used to having a phone line, but we understand what you're saying. We do have a phone that is through internet service only, but the reception is not always as good. That is a business line. But yeah, I think that is something to check into. Now, John Campbell, as far as writing poems and writings, that is definitely one of those products that it would be considered an ebook that is a marketable item to uplift Israelite women. Now, one word of advice that I would give to you is make sure that title is off the chain.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be one of the major selling points for you, making sure that the title is off the chain. The title, when I did look at the woman from Hawaii who said that she made millions on her ebook, she did say the titling was the one thing that gave her a lot of good success.
Yeah.
Yes, there is a list to the person who asked. There is a list of collaborations on the website. And those are just the few that we feel are simple enough and not as costly to get involved in. So they are on the site. You have to be a member in order to see those, and it's under collaborations. Now, as far as the question about tithes from Lepi, we don't accept tithes because we're not Levites, and we did a teaching on that. As far as tithes, we appreciate the sentiment, though. That's just something we don't do. Tithes was food. Now, offerings is different. Anyone who wants to donate, that is completely up to them. But as far as collecting tithes, we don't do that. And when you get a chance, you can look at the teaching on the Watchman Reports site as it relates to tithes and as it relates to offerings, because those are two different things. Okay, so you can look at that when you get a chance. Okay. So yeah, I'm noticing a lot of people are interested in the ebook thing. That is one of the simplest things you can try to do right now. One of these days, you're gonna snag a title that just might have you just like the young lady was like, oh wow, I got 1,000 sales. Oh, another 1,000. Oh, 10,000. You might look up at your ebook. Now, of course, you have to make sure the content of the ebook is great, because I'm sure that was one of the. It's not just the title that has to sell. It's
People
also
share it,
is also the content. So yeah, that's one of the easiest things. And we do have a marketplace we're working on. And anyone who's a member of the site, you can see the marketplace in which we ourselves have a lot of different items that are considered downloadable products. Okay. Whenever my husband does a video for a customer, he don't send them a DVD
That's right.
for their commercial. He sends them a download.
That's right.
You see, so even those of you who offer voiceover services, you do custom videos for customers like we do. You do any type of music or stock, anything, software, apps, any type of graphics, anything like that is considered a downloadable digital product. And so if you have anything like that, you can sell on that particular marketplace that we're referring to. And so that's one of those things that we encourage people, put on your creative writing skills or your design skills. You just may have a buyer for something that simple. We keep getting the question about the Levite. Yeah, thank you very much, but you know.
What's going on with that question?
No, he says our level of knowledge is that of a Levite or greater, and that our son Eliah. We understand, brother, but we just, you know, that we don't consider ourselves Levites. But like we said, if you want to donate, that's a whole different thing than actually having taking tithes.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like that for the other school sets too. I know you guys are tired of this question, but can you explain why we can't eat pork because people are telling you? Well, it's not that we're tired.
I tell you what we'll do, because we're dealing with the business right now. I have on my site, Watchman Reports. Go there. There's a banner on the right side that says Ask Watchman.
Yes.
And click on that banner, and you can post a question right there. Just post a question there. I'm going to be doing a video on the questions that's on the Ask Watchman, and we'll do that video for you. And a lot of the questions we'll answer in the video, and that's for anyone that have any questions. It's not on the subject of business. We're trying to really keep it at business here, because we already been 2 hours into this, and
we don't want to take up too much more of your time.
Yeah.
So, any other questions for us? Now, as far as when can you invest, like I said, we have the collaborations already up on the site, and the way we're going to handle these too. If we don't meet our quota, we'll let it go until we do, because we want to make sure, for instance, any sisters that are going to take on the sewing projects, here's what we can do. We have a source to where we buy fabric for things that we do around the house here. Now, any of you that sew who may have a better source with a more fair price or a better price or a lower price and the fabric is good, those are the kind of things that we want you to put in the collaboration projects, because we want to make sure that we can offer the best price for whatever it is we're selling. And so our supplies, wherever we get our supplies from, is going to have the best prices for the group. So if you want to put links to where you purchase your material from, that will be great. For the most part, we get our materials from fabric.com. We've been going there for years. And if there's some place to have better prices than them, please post a link for us, because some of these projects we really, if we enough of us go ahead and decide to join the projects, we can literally get started as soon as our sewers want to get started, as soon as our writers want to get started, because a lot of the brothers who are teachers, I'm not saying sisters are excluded, because certainly we can write stories as it relates to children's stories for teaching the kids, right? What we're trying to do with the children's book is to write stories that are on the level that children can understand without diminishing the quality of the story too much, right?
Yeah.
And we want it to be interesting. So anyone who wants to put on their writing skills for that, we would appreciate that. I've talked with a few people about their voiceover services. When we do the audiobook version of the children's books, we would like for you all that do voiceovers to submit examples of your work, because again, we want to do audiobooks as well. We did a project for a sister who wrote a book in Georgia, and we did all of the animations. Now the animations were just still animations. It's not like what the one brother submitted where he does real animations, but we animated it to the best of our ability, and it turned out really nice. And the audio, it was a full audio version of her book, and it was to help promote her children's book. So this is one of those things we want to do as well.
Yeah.
So any project that you want to invest in, it's available for you to do that now, but we won't move forward until we have enough to get the project started.
Right.
And so again, we're going to be looking for anyone who wants to participate, whether it's through content that they're going to submit and that type of participation, or a monetary participation. Okay. Now for the sewing, you probably came in late on the project. We have two projects on the site. Infants Pampers or diapers or whatever you want to call them, and maxi pads. Okay, those are the two current sewing projects that we're looking at, because these are things that we know many people are trying to go natural. So these are some of the things that I know definitely I would want to purchase. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna close. I would like a nice shirt. The border. Now, anyone who sews clothes, if you have samples of your work, I would say please. We've had people putting one brother put his gym shoes on there, very impressive design called the Judah gym shoes or sneakers or something. Anyone who does clothes, please put that on the site. We want to see other people's things too, and be able to offer or put together a collaboration project for others as well. So please, by all means, put your items on the site too, so that we can all take a look, because some people are wanting clothes. We get a lot of our clothes from East Essence and Asheville. We used to go to Asheville, but I don't go to Asheville as much anymore. East Essence actually have better quality clothes. The quality is really, really nice, and the prices are extremely affordable.
I like East Essence too. The clothes I get my clothes from basically like Al Hannah and other places like East Essence and places like that. But they're very affordable, and that was the reason why I started going there. Of course, I would prefer to buy from a Hebrew if someone was actually making the clothes, but it got to be affordable too. So we urge people to keep that in mind. And we understand too that it takes money to make these things and do that kind of stuff. But I know there's a really good market for Hebrew clothes. Yeah. So anyone that's trying to go into that field, I urge you to do so. I myself used to I used to design clothes. I went to school for tailoring and sewing when I was in high school. And I used to make a lot of my own clothes when I was growing up, But I kind of got out of the sewing thing and not really interested in it no more. So I got other things that I'm more interested in, But basically, I would say, yeah, go for it, Go for it. I know there's a lot of people that are looking for good Hebrew clothes, especially men's clothes, because it's just. Mm-hmm. Women's clothes, they're everywhere. Women can find just about anything that's nice, long clothes, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But men, it's very hard to find good clothes.
Okay, this person has a question. They says Esau skin here with the heart of Jacob have strong resources and contacts. Are you open to working with a white man? It's I think there's a misconception, and I understand you asking the question like that because
Yeah,
many of our teachings are kind of strong, but you have to understand our teachings are strong as it relates to our people too. Okay,
that's right.
we have strong teachings as it relates to our people and Gentiles, people in general. And this is the way the Most High has given us the message.
Right.
Now, it's kind of funny, and I want to mention this. It's a small world, y'all. It's a small world.
Yes.
We were at Walmart the other day, and this guy sees my husband, and he's like, you know, you're that man, right? Yeah. And my husband's like,
He's a Caucasian too.
he's a Caucasian, and he was. I'm honored to meet you. I watch your channel, and we were like, it's a small world, and they were engaged in conversation. Now, me and my son were over here, and so I'm looking like, who's Papa talking to, you know? And so we get up there. He's like, here's my wife, Deborah. You know, he introduces them with something.
Normally, I'm a little nervous when Caucasians do go to my site because they get the wrong idea. You know, some of them, they got a good heart. They know that we're not being racist. They know that
we're just telling the truth.
We're just telling the truth. We're just putting truth out there about what's going on. And so, so when I see somebody that know, I'll be like, oh my goodness, should I run? Or should I, you know, what's going on?
Because for some people, the truth is a hard pill to swallow. But this guy, he wasn't like that at all. He was like, well, I follow your teachings, and we're like, oh, you follow our teachings? Okay, well then you know what we believe and what we teach and all of that, right?
Right.
But I said all that to say this, that this whole misconception that people have, when you tell the truth about anything and anybody, it is not hate, okay? Right. Because anyone who looks at any of our messages, and I know we said we're going to keep it on business, I'm only dealing with it because the question was asked, okay? Right. I'm only dealing with this because the question was asked, but anyone who looks at our messages know, like even our next documentary coming out is talking about, is the curse of generational curses upon our people. And the word tells us to cry aloud and spare not. Only the truth will make you free. That goes for all of us, whether you're a Gentile, whether you're an Israelite, we have to speak the truth. And I can't tell you how many times that we have spoken the truth, or my husband has spoken the truth, and that truth came and knocked me, boom, right upside my head too. Yeah. That's just the way it is. It cuts both ways. Yeah,
we will speak the truth against about our own people, just like against any other people, a nation that's out there. We're gonna come with the truth about them, and if it cuts us, it's just gonna cut us.
That's right. That's right. And so we said that to say this. Back to your question. Yeah. Back to the question. We have when you do business in this world, there are a lot of people you do business with, right? We do business with people all the time of other nations as well. I mean, that's the world we live in. When we buy our materials, we don't know of any Hebrew textiles. So of course, we have to do business, and we are fair people. We just don't take no junk off of nobody as it relates to us speaking the truth. And that is aimed at even our own people. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, whether you're an Israelite or whether you're a Gentile, guess what? Only the truth, just like we said, only the truth will make you free. So if you're a Gentile and you can accept the truth, see, the Most High can work with that. Yeah. He can work with that. Because notice when he said he said, many shall come to me in that day saying, Master, Master, or Lord, Lord, haven't I done all these things in your name, and in your name cast out devils? He's going to say, depart from me, I never knew you. Because you had not a love for the truth, he will turn you over to a strong delusion. Right. Had not a love for the truth. So anyone who could accept the truth, no matter how harsh it is, because it was our people that actually, he said he came up to his own received him not.
That's right.
That was us. So all of us have some truths to face. So bottom line is we work with people all the time as it relates to business. You see,
it don't matter what nationality you are, you know. Let me just be frank with you. Even when it don't relate to business, it can be anything else. Let me tell you something. There's some Hebrew Israelites that I won't let in my home. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it all just depends on the people. We try to deal with people that are Yahuwah conscious, you know, people. Now, as it relates to business, of course, there's no way I can find out if Walmart if I'm going on the internet to buy something from Walmart or from another institution, whether or not they're conscious, you know.
Mhm.
But at the same time, some things you need, you have to buy, and you might not can find. You don't know nothing about this person that you're buying it from.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So
And see, we're in a situation as a people where most of the things we buy, we have to get from other. So our whole thing is this with any service or any person we work with. The reason why we mentioned, if you look at this broadcast, if you weren't here in the beginning, sometimes we have to hide who we are as a people. Now, the person who asked the question, you don't have to worry about that because people will buy from you, period. But we've actually had we've had customers who, when they found out we were Black, didn't want to buy from us. So when you hear us talking about that, these are real life experiences that we go through. So we're not trying to be racist. We're just trying to say, look, if you have a service that's good for Chinese people, Black people, white people, Indian people, but you're a Black person, sometimes you can't say, oh, I'm a Black business, because people will discriminate. We've had people do that.
I've had it happen so many times, and so that's why we do business the way we do it. As far as a lot of our services and business that we do, the person would know that we were Black if they went to those sites and went to try to purchase. They wouldn't have no idea, and that's because we have been discriminated against as it relates to that. You know, but that's not that we're not being racist. We're just saying, hey, this is kind of, if you want to make money, you kind of got to be that way. So unless it's an ethnic thing that we're trying to sell, you know, something that's like, you know, for our people, then if it's not anything like that, then if it's something like that, of course we'll say we'll let it be known, you know. But
so that was for
I hope that answered your question.
Yes, that was for BNGC. That was to your question. Now, anyone else have any questions for us before we keel out? Let me see. The nail salon thing, you know why it's locked down? Because we allow that in our communities. There were a couple of sisters. Someone had posted a video that I think was very interesting on Facebook a couple of days ago, where these sisters had a lip bar. And it was kind of like the brother who had the mobile hair salon or the mobile barbershop. And they really shot the idea down. And even though they already had an established customer base, they shot the business down. And they shot the business down, but the sisters were still motivated to continue on. Now, what if someone had a mobile nail salon? Now, I don't paint my nails. I don't know the religious things dealing with that. I would have to check into it. But a lot of businesses are going mobile, you see. And so as far as the nail salon, that might be one of those things if it's not something that's prohibited by the Most High. I'm not sure. I would have to check the book of Enoch again. But a lot of businesses going mobile is a way to try to win or draw some of those customers from these nail salons that come into our business and take the money right out back to their communities. You see, the Chinese, they do that all in Detroit. All over Detroit, they have all of these Chinese hair and nail salons, and they come and get the money and siphon it right out of the community. But that, I put that on us. It is one of the curses. The scripture did say that. But I put that on us for allowing it. If you know that you are a buyer of certain products and services, why not support someone who can provide that service from your own? Why not do that? So if you're going to get your Black hair done, why are you going to an Asian establishment who, in some cases, don't even treat you right? I mean, it is what it is.
That's right.
Okay, let me see. Are you typing it in? The 12 times network.
I was
Oh.
typing in something else for
Okay, let me just drop the link then.
unrelated business questions. I was gonna get into link to that.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to get the site for you to the network, so you can just click on the link and go to the site. Fill on out me.
That thing moves so fast. Okay.
Okay, just drop the link in for the site. Okay, I like that. Let's knock some walls down. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Someone started a music group on the site. Let me tell you why that is so very important. And we said this before. A lot of the music in the background of some of our documentaries, our children produce that music.
That's right.
And so I'll put it to you this way. Before our children started doing a lot of the music for us, we had to go to sites that sold stock music.
That's
so we were
right.
always buying stock
music. Yeah.
music. Now I know yours might not particularly be stock music. It may be music that you want to sell that people can just listen to and just kind of jam on. But if you create music, that's another market that you need to tap into. We're developing this download site, okay? So you might want to consider doing this. A lot of the music that you may create that may sound kind of commercial, you may want to consider offering that music because you have people paying a lot of money for stock music clips. Now, even if you make some clips and you offer them on our marketplace that we're developing, that same clip you can market at other marketplaces too. In
That's
other
right.
words, you're not locked into just our marketplace. You can sell it here over at this marketplace or that marketplace. Having your music out there will get you some exposure. You never know, your music might be featured in a commercial one day or in a movie one day. So stock music, anyone who creates music, that is a great market to get into, just like ebooks, okay? These are simple, easy things for people to get into if you are a creator of downloadable products.
Let me share something with you, okay? Me being in the field of video editing and production, let me tell you something, right? As far as stock music, stock photos, and stock video, there are people that go around with an HD camera and they just video scenes of people walking, people in stores doing things. They film all these type of things, but you got to have a really good camera.
Yes.
If you get really good quality. Let me tell you something about the stock footage. Stock footage can sell from anywhere from $60 to $400 a clip. Stock photos can sell anywhere from $1 to $20 a photo, and if it's high resolution.
Well, actually,
Okay.
more than that. Depends on what site
The
you go
photo,
to.
yeah, depends on what
Yeah.
site. Okay. Now, stock music, the same thing. Okay, this stuff costs a lot of money. Now, let me share this with you. Okay, many people that are into this business, they will have their stock photos at many different sites. There could be probably a good 2 or 3 dozen sites out there that they're selling their music on it, or that they're selling their photos on. And one particular site that I went to was Video Hive. Okay, I think Video Hive is, but Pond 5 is one that sell video footage, and they also sell photos, and I think even music and After Effects templates and things like that. These people that have profiles on these sites, I am not kidding you, are making so much money. It's incredible from just selling downloads.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we talking about a lot of money from selling downloads.
Mm-hmm.
So anyone that's into any of that type of stuff, we urge you to go look into some of these sites and do your downloads. Like we're trying to do this download site too, that we're trying to get done. But we would like for you all to sell your downloads there too as well. And as well as even our other site, you can sell downloads there too at the marketplace that we told you about. But
I was
yeah.
thinking about disabling that download feature to have.
Oh, okay, let's do have them just come here. That's fine.
Yes.
But like we said, there's just so many avenues of especially if you're into music. And you know what? I was so glad when my daughter started doing background music, because it made it so much easier for me because first of all the cost, so we pay her now, you know, so she has a little thing going, you
And
know.
she don't charge us as much.
Yeah. That's right, we mommy and daddy, you know.
She don't
But I
charge
tell you,
as
but
much.
she's extremely good with her music, you know.
Mhm.
And so I'm telling you, it's like this is the thing. I'm telling you right now, voiceovers, we're always hiring voiceovers for our project.
Mhm.
If you listen to the White It Out documentaries, there are several voice talents that we use on a regular basis for those documentaries. And sometimes we're looking for actors even, you know. So I'm telling you, it's a huge market for this type of stuff that's out there.
Mhm. So we're going to see if we have any other questions. If not, let me see. Okay. She's in the process of doing that. Most of her music she was creating for us, but we told her, for the person who asked the question, has she uploaded her music to stock sites yet? Most of the music she created for our project specifically, but we told her that we want her to go ahead and start selling her music because she's gotten a lot of compliments on who produced the music. And so we were like, you know, even though we've used them in our projects, we don't take the rights from it. She owns the music. She created it. So we told her she can go ahead and start selling her stock music on other sites as well.
Where is it? Did you put the link to the music site?
No, not yet, because we're still developing the site.
Okay. Now, where is this stock music site? Is that the one they referred to? The one that we're working on?
Where is
Up tempo.
Oh, okay. There are a lot of different stock music sites out there. You can just kind of Google stock music. They're not talking about ours.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of different stock download sites, period. But we are developing our own because there is something else, another element we're going to add to it. Okay.
Just go to Google and type stock music, royalty-free stock music.
Thank you to Monica Marsha. Thank you as well, and love you as well. Give examples of stock music sites. Pond 5, that's an example of.
Let me see if Pond 5 have music. I'm not sure.
I believe they do.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, Pond
They do.
5 is one.
Pond 5 is POND 5, the number 5.
Mm-hmm.
Like
We used to go to Stock 13 too. We saw them.
Stock-
I mean, not Stock 13,
20.
Stock 20. Stock 20. We used to use them when they were very early in the game, and they have grown tremendously.
They should. But you know, it's amazing. This site, I would say about 8 years ago, was it? 9 years?
A little bit longer than that, maybe.
Probably about 9 years ago, this site they were called Stock 20 because they actually only had started out with 20 songs.
There are things for 20, I think. That's what.
Oh, that's what they call it, Stock 20. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm not kidding you. This site went from only having a few songs to now having probably over 1,000 songs. And it was just a group of guys who produced music, who just started producing music for commercials and things like that. Now their music is everywhere. You know, their music being played in commercials and, you know, some everywhere. So definitely look into it. If you type up stock music, you'll see quite a few music sites. Stockmusic.net. Shutterstock is another one that I buy. I used to buy things from too. Pond 5 and Audio Jungle. That's another one.
John Campbell. I'm not sure about the questions you're asking, but you might want to get with my son Elijah Reich on some of those questions. I'm not a computer type person as it relates to those types of things, but yeah, you might want to get with Elijah Reich on some of those. His site is his YouTube channel, ALIJEHREIK.
Yep, that's it.
Okay.
Do you have a profile on 12 Tribes?
Yes, it's under Elijah.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, he has a profile on 12 Tribes Network. You can contact him through there.
Okay. If we don't have any other questions, as far as the project, someone asked a question about when once we get what we feel we need to start the projects, and that's when we will get going, because a lot of the projects, believe it or not, we can get started without money on some of them.
Yeah.
Okay, such as the writing. For instance, when we start doing the books, just think about this for a moment. For the book projects, anybody who's going to participate in those, we just start our writing, submit our stories, and anyone who's going to submit videos for the Black Hair book. I mean, that's just a matter of submitting your things. Now, once we get the money for the publishing and the marketing and the illustrations and things of that nature, that's when we have to start spending money. Now, as far as the illustrations and stuff like that, if there is anyone on the site who knows how to do that, we would rather pay someone from the 12 Tribes Network to do that. So keep in mind all the tasks that we have to hire out. If someone in-house already knows how to do it, we would rather do that. So keep that in mind. I think we've covered a lot today. If we don't have any other questions, I think we're going to get ready to say goodbye. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Kennedy, for that. Thank you very much for that. We try our best to do as we are supposed to. And Brother Yoshaya, we haven't decided on Passover yet to whether or not we're going to do Passover or, I'm sorry, the Passover gathering or the Pentecost gathering.
It's going to be Pentecost because it's
Okay.
a little further down the line. We need a little more time to get ready for it.
Okay, Macy girl, as far as our seeds, a lot of seeds we carry or we save from previous years. But whenever, when we first bought our organic seeds, we bought them from non-hybrid-seeds.com. Okay, that's where we got our first seeds from. Now, I will say this, as far as other seeds, there are some seeds, if we find a deal on them, I'm just going to keep it real right here. A lot of people, we make a big to-do out of organic seeds, right? Now, we do believe in buying organic seeds for certain things, right? But when it comes to like greens and like cabbage or something like that, or different green varieties or lettuces and things of that nature, if we see a good deal on some seeds, where they're at the end of season sale, we will buy those, okay? Things like corn, I definitely say you want to go organic on.
So some things you know the government has been tampering with. You can look into these things on the internet. But like corn, wheat, and all of that kind of stuff, we know soy, we know that they're heavy into that. And Monsanto's heavy into those things, you know. But things like my wife is saying, like collard greens, you know, you probably safe to get.
Yeah, if I find a good deed on some seeds like that, I'd go for the gusto.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a good deed, a good deal. My words are getting jumbled because I'm hungry. I haven't eaten anything.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think we're going to call it quits. And again, we do have some other projects that we are going to post on the site for those who want to just take a project and run with it. You don't necessarily need collaboration, but you want something that you want to work on. I will do some of those postings as well.
Oh, excuse me, I must have yawned probably about 8 times in the past 5 minutes.
We thank you all for joining us today, for taking the time, and we apologize for wasting the first 30 minutes of your time with our little technical staff.
We got to try to spend some time to really work on that program, because a lot of people like the program, being able to bring in video and images and show you what we're talking about would make it a lot easier to do very nice presentations in business and lessons in the scripture. So we're gonna really work with it this week and see if I can figure out where the bugs are coming from and everything. Okay.
Okay.
But we apologize for that earlier thing.
Mhm.
But anyway, do you have anything else you want to say?
That is it.
That is it. On
Shalom,
that note,
family. We love you and
say
enjoy the
shalom.
rest of your day.